What really gets my dick hard is...
So fucking what?
What's up, brothers? This is the Hulkster here, and you're listening to 24-inch pythons of a show, Metal Up Your Podcast.
Well, we're gonna try something a little different here, so don't get fucking scared, man. Well, we figured anyway, all our fucking Metallica friends, they're always up for something new all the fucking time, right? Dig it. Well, try this on for size. No more fucking public service announcements, all right? So here we fucking go.
Welcome to Metal Up Your Podcast. I'm Ethan Luck.
And I'm Clint Wells.
This is episode 69, and we're talking about Binge Purge San Diego. This is a continuation of last week, which was, of course, Seattle.
And it's the second part of our three-part series. We're going to be doing Mexico City next week. And it's been fun to sort of camp out in Binge and Purge land.
Yeah, we don't do this that often. You know, when we've done two-parters, sometimes it'll be spread out a little bit. Or was S&M back-to-back?
With what?
I'm sorry, not S&M, Garage Inc.
No, we spread that out.
Spread that out too, yeah.
We did some kind of monster back-to-back. We did James Hetfield back-to-back, but I mean, the opportunity doesn't present itself as much. So that's been fun.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
So we got Mexico City coming out next week. Before we get into that, if you don't know who we are, we're an all Metallica podcast. Ethan and I are two professional musicians based in Nashville. We decided about a year ago to devote all of our, channel all of our love and energy for Metallica into a podcast. And it's been fun. I reflect often. I'm like, we've been doing this for a hot minute now. We're no longer new.
Oh yeah, no, we're in like month 16.
Yeah, all my friends are like, "How's that going? Are you still doing that?"
Is it still a thing?
I'm like, "Yeah, it really is."
And how often do you do it? Like every Monday? Really?
Every fucking week.
Every time I tell someone like, "Oh yeah, I've got a Metallica podcast," we do it every Monday and have for well over a year. They're like, "How?"
Well, if you guys knew what our actual schedules were, it's actually kind of amazing that we make it work that often. I don't think we've ever missed a week.
No, I mean, I think we had like a 1 day delay one time, but yeah, it's been consistent, and it amazes me even when we're both on tour, and I've been in Europe and you've been on the west coast of the U.S. and whatever, and we've somehow managed to make it happen.
And it's kind of cranking up again. It's the next month or two is going to be pretty dicey.
Yeah, it's going to get a little, as Hetfield would say, it's going to get a little wacky,
a little nutty.
A little nutty. Damn it.
Yeah,
I thought
a little nutty.
It is nutty, yeah.
A little of our nutty
Come
friends.
down here and get nutty with us.
So we're going to sort of burn down the San Diego show. If you didn't hear our episode last week, we sort of went through Seattle, and we're doing Mexico City next week. Let's get into some news. So the boys they're sort of back doing their 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And as we all sort of know, if you're listening to this, you probably know, they're doing a pretty interesting rotating slot situation with their set list in Europe. And I just wanted to go through sort of like the flavors they're giving us. On March 29th, they were in Hamburg. And so they have sort of a Kill 'Em All slot, which is the fourth song, I believe, or maybe it's the third, where they're doing Seek and Destroy. They did Four Horsemen this night. Actually, it's not necessarily a Kill 'Em All slot, but they did Four Horsemen, Dream No More, which they've been sort of A-B'ing with Confusion. And then they have a cover slot. They did Die My Darling. And then they're either doing Fuel or Memory Remains. And then for the thrash slot, in the States, it was either Blacken, Fight Fire with Fire, or Battery.
Right.
They've been pretty much doing Spit Out the Bone every night.
Which is great. I mean,
is it becoming a staple?
I think it's becoming a staple. Well, it's been the most anticipated song for them to play live off of Hardwired.
For sure.
And
Easily.
I'd imagine every time they play it, they get better and better at it, so why not keep playing it?
Like, I want to hear Here Comes Revenge, and I want to hear Am I Savage. I love those songs.
Right.
But there's not the clamor for that there was for Spit.
I mean, this is kind of this record's Dyer's Eve, or Damage Inc. Exactly.
It for sure is.
Yeah. I love that they're doing it. In Vienna, I was stoked that they did Through the Never.
Through the Never, oh my gosh.
I was listening to the Black Album on the way over here, and I got to Through the Never, and I thought about this show, and I was like, I hope... That's a song that I hope we get at one of the shows.
Through the Never, one of my favorite Metallica songs.
Agreed.
Absolutely. So good. And that night they did Confusion. They did Bread Fan, Memory, Spit Out the Bone. In Prague, they did Leper Messiah.
Awesome.
So it's not like a Kill 'Em All. It's sort of a deep cut slot.
Yeah.
And they're doing Dream No More a lot. Am I Evil, Spit Out the Bone. And then in Budapest, their last show, which was on April 5th, they did Hit the Lights, which, man, honestly, I'd love to see Hit the Lights, too. It's their first song. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
It's so fun. They did Dream, Bread Fan again, and Spit. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm missing Death Magnetic on the tour, though.
I know. Well, on the last two legs, they were
doing the Day That Never Ends.
It never comes.
But how about some? I mean, I get it.
The Night That Never Ends?
The record they'll never play.
Exactly.
Like, I get it. Judas Kiss is out, unfortunately for me. I think All Nightmare Long's out. I get it. But how about some End of the Line? That was just your life.
That was just your life?
How about some Cyanide?
Really,
All right.
I would
They're
say
not going to do Unforgiven 3. That's fine.
any of the first 5 songs on that record, just even if they just picked one, The Day That Never Comes.
If they had just a rotating Death Magnetic slot.
Yeah, and maybe have 3 different ones you rotate in and out. It would be awesome.
But they were doing Day That Never Comes in kind of the Fade to Black Sanitarium slot.
Yeah. Well, I want it back.
Needless to say, that's what's going on. There's a little bit of news, the All Within My Hands Foundation. So they're doing these auctions, which I do think is pretty cool. The first Tuesday of every month, Metallica, via their charitable foundation, All Within My Hands, they're doing an auction. And this week they're giving out a signed black ESP LTD EC10 and an autographed limited edition poster from the Birmingham, England show. If any of you guys got any of the posters from the Worldwide Tour, these posters are all super unique and super badass.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah.
So they're doing that every month. So allwithinmyhands.org, go check that out. It's pretty cool. Some of the things they're giving out are the hardwired experiences where you get to meet the band, including James Hetfield.
Yeah, which is pretty rad.
And tickets to sold out shows and all that shit. It's pretty cool. It's worth checking out. Reddit co-founder, executive chairman Alexis Ohanian came out as
Sounds Irish.
It's weird.
Alexis Ohanian.
It's weird to say that he came out as a Metallica fan, like it's some sort of taboo thing, but he did an interview this week where he basically said that he was a huge fan, and he was referencing Some Kind of Monster and saying that the struggles James and Lars went through as sort of co-founders of Metallica, he also dealt with in co-founding Reddit.
Oh, wow.
So that was interesting. That kind of made news.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, I'm sure even for a band like Metallica, as long as they've been at it, it's still probably cool to find out that, someone who's done something else really cool is a fan of yours.
I think they've been at this stage for probably 20 or 25 years.
Right.
Where I imagine at every show, there's someone cool there where they're like, oh, what Dave Grohl's here. Oh, the guy from Reddit's here.
Right.
The Elon Musk is whoever it is. They're just that
Right.
big.
Chad Kroger's here.
They are, dude. Have you seen that footage of Nickelback doing Sabbath True?
It's really good.
It's really good.
I wish they would have played the whole song.
Did they not do the whole thing?
I think they cut it off at
I
some
don't think
point.
I watched the whole thing. I couldn't get
Oh,
through it.
you hated it?
Everyone knows I have a soft spot for some Nickelback tunes.
You have the softest spot that produces tears.
I do. Yeah, I get choked up. The last bit of news that we'll go before
I love this.
So St. Vincent, for those of you who don't know, is this kind of sort of indie rock chick. Super cool. She actually directed a horror anthology series that came out this year called XX, where it was
cool.
all female directors. They
Rad.
did a small short film.
Love it.
And she was one of them, and hers is really good. Anyway, it's called XX. Anyway,
Awesome.
Her name is Annie Clark. So she tweeted, "I want to be the kind of asshole who sees a fashion kid in a vintage Metallica shirt and insists they be able to sing at least one song from Ride the Lightning." So Metallica retweeted it, and they wrote, "Give them a break if they don't know the words to Escape."
It's true, though.
I don't know. It's like, I think I know the words easier to escape than like Trapped Under Ice.
But I mean, I'm not.
Hey, give them a break if they don't know the words to Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, that'll pretty much prove if they know the record or not. Well, we've seen that a lot over the years with not only cool fashion kids or whatever, but like celebrities wearing, like when Justin Bieber wore a Metallica shirt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anytime I see someone wearing a Metallica shirt or any band that I've invested a lot in, the Misfits or whoever, the Clash, and you can kind of just tell you're wearing that just to be cool and just for fashion, I want to walk and be like, name me 5 songs from that record.
Yeah.
I saw a dude one time, I won't mention the band,
Nickelback,
but well-known person, in a
Chad Kroger.
original Master of Puppets t-shirt. Mm-hmm. And I so badly wanted to go up and ask.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. Can you name 5 songs off this album, knowing very well that the song titles are on the back of the t-shirt?
Right.
But I didn't have the guts to do it.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I understand all that. Like, I feel that way too, this sort of territorial shit. Same time, it's like, all right, you don't have to know it all to wear the shirt. It's okay. You can wear the shirt. Maybe you thought the shirt looked cool. I've done that. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
That is interesting, though.
I just love her tweet. I thought it was great. I saw it. I retweeted it.
Yeah, it's funny.
I helped.
There's part of you that's like, well, if you're going to wear it and pretend to like it, or you're wearing it for all the wrong reasons.
Well, here's the thing, too.
Part of you that wants to stick it to him. Like, all right.
Metallica's the kind of band, though, that, as we know, have such a rabid fan base that if, what she calls, a fashion kid wearing a Ride the Lightning shirt, some Metallica fans going to be like, fuck yeah, Ride the Lightning. Like, what's your favorite song? And they're going to be like,
oh, wait a minute.
Enter Sandman.
John Barbados sold me this shirt for $17,000.
Right, so yeah. I get it with a band like Metallica, or like a band with a hardcore fan base.
Right.
Like, if I was wearing a New Kids on the Block shirt, sure, they have a hardcore fan base, but people would just think it was funny. Maybe. Or
they would think a lot of things about it.
Or they would think it was sad.
They would think a lot of things about it.
Listen, I'll wear a New Kids on the Block shirt if you make one with the Metallica
What was their big
font.
song?
Hangin' Tough, man.
No. How'd that go?
Hanging tough.
New Kids on the Block?
Hanging tough.
No, I'm thinking about another one.
The last line of the chorus is, we're rough.
No, what? No. I'm thinking about a bigger one.
Listen, my sisters were so into those guys.
I'm thinking about a big one.
That was a huge song, Hanging Tough. Gene Froman is what I'm talking about.
New Kids on the
Block. What was the one off the record before that? They where they did their cool little dance, their leg splits.
You got it?
No.
Step by Step?
Step by Step was huge.
How did that go?
All I remember is that I think it was the bridge.
Maybe I don't know any of these
They
songs.
list steps, and it goes, step 1, we can have lots of fun. Step 2,
well, that's always step 1.
There's so much we can do. Step 3, it's just you and me.
Oh, Jesus, that's bad.
Step 4, I forgot.
That's really bad.
Well, what's really bad is I know that many lyrics to New Kids
No,
on the
that's what I'm
Block
saying. All right, so that's kind of the news. That's fun. So we've been doing this iTunes contest where you go leave us a positive review on iTunes, which you should do, by the way, if you haven't. It really helps us out, and it's easy to do and all that shit. We're doing a patron-exclusive contest. Now, you're going to hear about Patreon later, about how to get involved and stuff. But for the month of March, we're doing a Patreon-exclusive contest. So if you're a patron, your name goes into a queue. I think we have about 105, 110 patrons. And we're going to draw your name and give out 5 prizes. The prizes this month are...
New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough on vinyl.
Was Marky Mark in? No, he was in the Funky Bunch.
His brother, Donnie...
Was Jordan something in...
Jordan Knight.
Jordan Knight.
Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg was in
Donnie.
New Kids, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Both
You do
Wahlbergs.
know too much about this.
Listen, I have a twin sister and a sister that's 2.5 years younger than me, and they were obsessed with
and you have
New
a lot
Kids.
of New Kids on the Block CDs.
And I love New Kids on the Block.
Yeah,
So combine all 3 of those, and I mean, they might be next to Metallica. Listen, all I'm saying is I might start a New Kids on the Block podcast.
Okay. We're giving away the Mexico City DVD, a Pusshead Hockey Puck, a Crash Course T-shirt, the Beyond Magnetic CD sealed. Those last 2 things are courtesy of our friend Benjamin. And the Big Daddy prize is our friend Tiffany gave us the Captain Crunch. It's the Hammer of Justice, but it's the Captain of Crunch.
It's the Captain Crunch cereal box. Yeah.
And it's a numbered 1 out of 5,000. They were limited edition. And it appears that the boys have signed it. Now, we don't know.
We can't confirm if it's just printed on there as
Tiffany will have to let us know.
Yeah. We actually had it under a light to see if that was the case, if it was printed or not. But either way, it's a very cool limited piece, and that's the Big Daddy prize.
So go to patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast, and we're going to talk about Patreon later, and you'll kind of see how to get involved. If you donate $1 or more, you're in the running for this contest. And it's a way for you to support the show and all that shit. All right. We are on the socials. We actually did a fun thing right before we recorded the episode.
Was it fun?
With Instagram. It was pretty fun.
I had a good time, actually. It seemed a little weird at first. We did an Instagram Live thing. Our original plan was, hey, let's Instagram Live this whole episode. That might have been a bad idea.
Bad idea.
But we hung out on there for, a good 45 minutes or so? I don't know, something like that.
I think it was about an hour. We answered questions. We had fun. We told jokes. Torben and Dave and the Hulkster, and they all showed up.
Becca showed up. It was awesome. Yeah.
So go find us on Instagram. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and all our shit's on YouTube. Best way to get a hold of us is through email. And we're trying to really make sure the email section is staying shorter and shorter. So we've truncated some of these. But for the next few minutes, we're going to hear from the fans. Let's get into the email corner.
Let's do it. All right, our first email is from Vanna Carpenter. Hey there, really enjoyed the podcast, guys. Your voices are super duper soothing to me after a long, challenging day. Well, you're welcome.
Welcome to
sorry you had a long, hard day.
Super duper vocal hour.
I'm glad that we could put your mind at ease. Welcome to the soothing sounds of Ethan and Clint on Metal Up Your Podcast.
Welcome to, I'm glad it's super duper. I hope you have a super duper night.
She says, and you're still both my favorite bedtime storytellers. Oh, okay, Vanna.
This is a little story called The Super Duper Giving Tree.
Oh, and
we're going to tell you a little story about the Super Duper Berenstein Bears.
Here's the thing. I actually don't know where the sidewalk ends.
Yeah. Sometimes when I put my hand on the window, I wonder if you're putting your hand on the window and then we're looking at the same moon.
Are we?
Do you?
Vanna, you're getting sleepy. You're getting very sleepy. I'd like to solve the puzzle, Vanna. Sorry, Wheel of Fortune joke.
Wheel of Fortune callback. Wow.
Wheel of Fortune humor for you guys out
Thanks,
there.
Vanna. Felipe de Lina says, wishful thinking, I just wish Metallica would play more songs from Load and Reload. I think Lars' drumming really stands out when he slows things down, and the band sounds heavier and grooves more. When I listen to those records, it's pure bliss. The melodies are catchy, the songs are powerful, the lyrics are deep. The bluesy country vibe totally suits Hetfield. I miss that in Metallica, specifically the vocal melodies. What do you guys think? Well, it's going to shock no one that I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I think there's elements of Load and Reload on Hardwired.
There is, yeah. I mean, but there's something really special. I mean, people hate that shit. I get it. People think it's lackluster and filler. I know our friend Tom doesn't like it. But I, for one, and I think Felipe also agrees, is that there's a lot of depth in those records. In every, I think he's right about all of it. Lars' drumming to play slower. You know, there's double kick and like Ain't My Bitch and
Fuel.
Yeah, there's double kick in it a little bit, but it's just not that kind of record. And it's harder to play pockets like that.
Yeah. Well, and back then, Lars really had a good backbeat, which is
great backbeat.
If you guys don't, obviously Bob Rock talks about it, but
no, go ahead and explain it.
Real quick. If you've got a metronome going click, 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 you're playing just behind it to where you're almost a little late, but you're still.
You can play, yeah, like on a beat, you can kind of play ahead of the beat a little bit. You can play right on the beat, or you can kind of hang back.
Yeah.
And hanging back is kind of a hallmark of like John Bonham-esque drumming. It just gives it this sort of groove and pocket.
The Black Album has it. That's the Black Album.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, shit, we can't go on and on about it, but I totally agree. I think that. I think the depth of the lyric writing, I don't think he's really done since. He's come close, you know. Like, I think, obviously, St. Anger is super personal, but he post-rehab and dealing with all that trauma, he didn't have any power or ego strength. So the lyrics are very, like, sophomoric in a sense.
Yeah.
I want my anger to be healthy. I want my anger to be me. That's not a good lyric. Plus, he was letting the whole band write lyrics, including Bob Rock and including Phil Tao.
He let Phil zone it on the record. That's all we're saying.
They zoned it, yeah. Anyway, anytime that you guys want to write in and share your love for Load and Reload, I absolutely love it. I totally agree. Thanks, Felipe. I really appreciate that.
Our next email is from Junebug Fugit, or as I like to say, fuck it.
It's Fugit. Remember, he told us.
I know, but I don't. Listen, I appreciate the correction on the right pronunciation, but I prefer Junebug Fugit. I'm another super duper. I'm super duper excited that you guys drew my name for the Cover Our World Blackened EP. I am a patron, though, so I already have it. If you want, you can draw another name for the EP, Spread the Love.
We had several people that won last week. Jason Berry was one, too, and they already have it because they're patrons. So how about this? First 5 people that email us that want the EP, we'll give it to them.
Yeah, just in the subject say, give me the EP.
Yeah. And that's medlupyourpodcast@gmail.com. First 5 people that send us email, we'll give you the EP. Thanks, Junebug, for your generous paying it forward. Old School VHS writes, hi, guys. This is Martin from Germany, New Jersey, of course. Love your podcast. You guys have a really great humor, and I'm always happy to learn some Metallica facts, which I didn't know before. Listening to your show is always a pleasure and also very easy to understand for a non-native speaker like me. That's cool.
Well, perhaps I should talk like this a little more.
From Vienna or Germany or Austria?
I could be from most places in Europe. It's really quite
most
easy.
Most places in Juarez.
New Jersey.
Juarez, New Jersey. He says, in the last episode, you wondered if the Binge and Purge box set came with a shirt. He says, I can tell you what it was like here in Germany, New Jersey. He says, when the Live Shit box set was released at selected record stores, the first day buyers got a free promo long sleeve shirt that wasn't included in the box, but given away separately at the counter after you paid for the box. The text on the back of the long sleeve is in German language, so I guess this shirt was a Germany-only promotional item. I don't know if buyers in other countries got something similar like that. All the best. You guys keep up the fantastic work, Martin. So other people wrote in and said that the Japanese release also had the shirt.
Right, so not in the U.S.
Yeah, it wasn't happening in the U.S.
And I'd imagine that if there's German writing on the back, then it is exclusive to Germany.
Thanks for clearing that up, Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. All right, next email's from Eric Moore. He says, "Hey guys, I also liked what Clint said about the sort of pride that you had being a Metallica fan of Metallica. It definitely rang true with my friends and I back then. This was during the peak of the Creed / Limp Bizkit Stained era, when bands like that were huge. There was also a faction of us who were still blasting Metallica, Sabbath, Maiden, and Pantera, and it was just like this whole pride thing, knowing that our boys could still dominate whatever the new in thing was." Eric. I was in that same camp. I mean, there was some stuff maybe, Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, fun song, heavy riff, but it didn't grab me like Metallica did.
I appreciate that stuff a lot more now as an older, more mature person. At the time, I was like this, because it was like, if your boys were Metallica, that shit just wasn't cutting it. Like,
Right.
Break Stuff, or it may have been Heavy, or Rollin', or whatever, or Counterfeit, or their cover of Faith. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, that's heavy, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it was like, if your standard was that era of Metallica, then it just didn't fucking cut it.
Sure, yeah.
And our friend Bob O'Rourke also wrote about that sentiment too. I was glad it landed, because I felt like I wasn't articulating it very well, but just, you almost sort of like glom on to the ego of that time. Those dudes were just so confident, and it was so strong and powerful
for
that
sure.
to even just be a fan of it and get it on a certain heavier level,
Yeah.
other than like, oh, I like Enter Sandman, like to really kind of get it, felt like that power sort of got grafted onto you.
Absolutely.
And gave you confidence in school or whatever the fuck.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So anyway, always good to hear from Eric. Danny Derryberry.
Danny Derryberry.
Hello, fellas. He says, pumped that the show has reached the popularity it has. Being an OG established March 2017, it's been like watching a new band you're into extend their reach and keep on going. Here's to 200,000 more downloads and interviews with the boys. Horns up, bitches. Very short, brief email of encouragement. I just want to say thanks to Danny,
Yeah,
an OG
thank you, Danny.
fan. It's been an exciting few months, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we've had more guests this year than ever. I mean, we didn't really have any. I mean, I don't consider Paul Mocha a guest anymore.
no,
but,
he's a guest host.
but yeah, we had, what was it, like 3 episodes in a row we had a guest, which is kind of unheard of for us.
Yeah, and the show seems to be growing every week, and we're feeling more comfortable about it. And hope, like I've mentioned it before, like having the boys on is kind of like the Zelda boss. We're just working our way through that Zelda game, dude.
Oh, yeah, totally. What level are we on right now?
I don't know. We said last week we're in our Ride the Lightning phase.
We definitely have not gotten the Triforce yet.
Oh, no, that's the end.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, no,
I think we may have the Sword of Destiny. We may even have the slingshot.
I think we might have graduated from the wooden sword.
I was about. Oh yeah. Oh no. We have the real sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a potion bottle.
Love the potion
Yeah.
bottle.
Well, that's crucial. I mean, you have to have it.
You have to.
You can fill it up with either hearts or magic, green or red.
And then
I'm doing specifically linked to the past.
see, I'm
mythology,
thinking the
though.
Legend of Zelda, which all that stuff still is kind of there. The
Yeah.
old school OG NES version.
No, I'm talking
I was about to go into like
I'm talking Super Nintendo.
We're gonna get like eventually on this podcast find Ganon.
No, I'm talking Super Nintendo.
Okay, the Link to the
Well,
Past.
because Nintendo had two.
Right, it had the
Legend of Zelda
and the Adventures of Link.
Yeah, Adventures of Link.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those were fun but weird.
I mean, I got obsessed with the first Zelda. That gold cartridge, it was so
Oh,
beautiful.
loved
It was
it. Oh,
awesome.
you're right. Loved it.
It was
Loved
a groundbreaking game, and
Absolutely.
I could not get enough of it.
Absolutely.
Love
Are we
it.
are we doing a Zelda podcast now?
Yeah. Okay. So and Ganon, and when you get to him, what you got to do is
No, see, Zelda's the girl you rescue. His name's not Zelda.
Exactly.
Zelda's a girl's name. His name's Link.
his Link.
Daddy.
All right, our last email is from Danny Santana. Love the Seattle show episode. Heard it at work, and now I can wait to get home and run through the show again. I think he meant can't wait to get home. A note on the San Diego show: the bass/guitar solos are fucking awesome. Probably the only ones on Metallica Reese that I actively go back and listen to on their own. Not just while listening, but to the entire set. Kirk and Jason linking up for some Zeppelin. Wow! Cheers from the West Coast of New Jersey, Los Angeles. Well, thanks, Danny. Yeah,
And we'll get into all
we'll
that.
get
We're
into
gonna
this,
do-
but yeah, the bass solo section of this show is definitely a highlight for me, which we will discuss.
Well, and we've already sort of talked about all the details, the facts of Binge and Purge. The point of splitting these up into 3 episodes is because we really wanted to sort of do them, no pun intended, justice.
We wanted to do them Lightning.
Well, because look, they're beloved. These are beloved shows that we've all spent a lot of time with.
Classic shows.
And so I owe it to my 13-year-old self to really sort of go through it. You can listen to our Seattle show to sort of get more of the context facts about the release of Binge and Purge.
Right.
We're not going to rehash all that here. I think we're just going to jump right into a track by track.
Let's do it. Hey, this is Ethan and Clint from Metal Up Your Podcast, and we want to talk to you about something we love called Patreon.
That's right. Patreon is a way for fans of the show to give back to the show, to donate money that helps us in quality and content. And not only that, but we've actually come up with all sorts of fun incentives to give back to you for supporting the show.
Exactly. For instance, if you donate $5 or more, you get access to Cover Our World Blackened, which is the official Metal Up Your Podcast Metallica cover EP.
That's right, and that's the only way to get it. In addition to the EP, we also give you priority email access, meaning we'll read your email first on the show. We give you early access to Patreon-exclusive merchandise, Patreon-exclusive giveaways, and any other side projects that Ethan and I might be involved in.
There's all sorts of things you can look at on there and you can donate to. Go check it out. Patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast. How do you spell that, Clint?
patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast. And if you really think about it, $5 a month for an entire year, that's really just like a cup of coffee a month. So go check it out. Thanks, everyone. Peace.
Adios. Track by track.
All right, so this was recorded at the Sports Arena in San Diego on January 13th and 14th, 1992. For those of you out there who don't know, it's similar to the other one, similar to Seattle. They recorded 2 nights, both film and audio. And what that gives them the freedom to do is to make edits. If maybe a solo wasn't so great, the one solo wasn't so great on one night,
right,
they can fall back on the audio of the other. Same with video. For the Mexico City shit, which we're doing next week, they actually did 5 nights.
Plenty of content to edit.
Plenty of content to, because I think they knew that was going to. I mean, it was their first live CD.
Well, I mean,
so they wanted to make sure it was great.
The fans in Mexico and really anywhere in Central America, it's in South America even, is like insane.
Well, they're just notorious music fans. And
oh my God, it's crazy down there.
Metallica in particular has a great relationship with the good folks of Mexico. So, we're here. So we want to do it chronologically. So last time we convened, it was 1989. We were in Seattle. The boys are riding high on Justice.
Yeah.
This is pre-Black Album, obviously. And here we are 3 years later, early 1992. Black Album's out, and the boys are opening with the title track of their new record, Enter Sandman.
The title track, yeah. The Black Album is also called Enter Sandman. The title track.
Not the title track, sorry. The lead-off track.
The lead-off track.
Sorry,
the lead-off
track.
And what's cool is like this is only 4 months after the Black Album came out.
Right. So it's all super fresh.
So fresh, and people are excited about the record. But yeah, and what's cool is, so the beginning of this one is similar to Seattle, where there is like this montage thing, but they're on the actual release. You see what the crowd was seeing, where they're talking to the crowd from backstage. You guys ready to come out? We're gonna come kick your ass soon. Mm-hmm. All that stuff, showing montage stuff of them doing the record and all that stuff, and then they open. Of course, you have Ecstasy of Gold. But then, yeah, I mean, to open with Enter Sandman, it's back to their thing we were talking about last week. Was this is in an era where they would just open with the first track on the record.
Well, we've talked about it before, but when you sequence a record, I mean, it's a very thoughtful process. And what you're basically saying is like, we have these 10 or 12 songs or whatever, how long the track list is. We want to take people on a journey.
Yeah.
It's very deliberate. It's not arbitrary.
Right.
They don't leave it up to management. The artists decide. And so it really makes sense that they're like, well, we're going to go tour this new piece of art.
Yeah.
What should we start with? How about what we painstakingly decided to start with on the album itself?
I mean, they still do it. I mean,
that's why on the Hardwired tour, they're doing Hardwired into Atlas.
I mean, when I saw them in 2009 for Death Magnetic, that was Just Your Life, first track.
Yeah.
They had the tape they played was like the heartbeat thing. And so, yeah, I mean.
And they opened with Blackened in Seattle.
Yeah. Bitching that they're, I mean, it's just crazy to, I guess, like, knowing what we know now in 2018, where Sandman
is very little, by
always,
the way.
It was very little.
Very little. We've not learned much. You mean in general?
In general, I don't know much. But I know I love you.
There we go.
There it is. But now, in 2018, you look back on all these years and years, Enter Sandman has become like this staple closing song for them.
It always will be.
It's it's like they're never going to not close with it. So it's interesting to go back and watch something where they open with it.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's just weird
There's
to go back.
There's so much kind of crazy frenetic energy around it. Like, it's their new big song. Everyone's super stoked. Obviously, a lot of trues are bummed. But fuck, I mean, I still love Enter Sandman. I still think it's a great song.
It's great.
And it is interesting that it's only just a few years later, and like shit's just. it seemed like a peak in '89, but it's like a whole different level.
Oh, a whole different level. I mean, even the whole stage setup is bigger and better.
I love, for me, it's so imprinted on my mind, and we haven't seen it in a long time, but Kirk playing that Spider Les Paul.
I love that one.
It's an ESP Les Paul, but he's got that kind of yellow spider on the top.
Oh, yeah. He played that a ton back in the Black Album era.
It was synonymous in my mind with the image of Kirk playing.
Yeah.
I love that guitar. The band feels way more confident. And even that early, even with 4 months after the record's coming out, for the Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, they were playing like a tape of the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, totally.
Which they, in 1992, they had some dude actually playing a tape.
It was probably honestly back then it was probably like a ADAT or DAT,
DAT, yeah.
Which is it's still tape. It's digital audio tape. That's what DAT stands for the recording layman out there.
For anyone who's not a fucking nerd,
I just like saying layman. It's a fun word. That's fun to say.
Yeah. You have a list of fun words.
Oh yeah, layman's the top of them. Francisco. That's fun to say.
Ooh, Francisco.
I love when James opens his arms after the first chorus.
Oh,
it's
sort of classic,
classic shot from behind.
I think about him at the Moscow show.
Yeah,
like where there were like
there was like
reportedly 7 billion people there. Yeah, everyone on the planet was there.
8 billion. Yeah, the world gathered in Moscow.
Yeah, that because for a long time he did a very low stance,
very low,
where he would kind of crouch.
Guitar's
right?
low. It's almost like he's prowling.
Yeah, well, like a wolf or man.
A wolf or man. Yeah. Tiny wolves out there.
Jason, of course, rocking the puss head, wearing the Sabbath True shirt. One of my favorite puss head designs.
The Black Album era was like prime time for Jason wearing Black Album merch.
Yeah.
I do love, one thing we didn't mention on the Seattle show is Jason wearing a Johnny Cash Elvis Presley t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
But I do, anyways, I love in the Black Album era that Jason always has a different Black Album design.
But the two skulls facing each other.
Such a good shirt.
I'm you, that whole deal. I'm my own worst enemy shit. That's so good.
Like the Lit song.
You make me completely miserable.
Different song. I was thinking my own worst enemy. Is
that not that song?
No, that's, I think it's called Completely Miserable. That was a different one. That's the video.
Can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to call you that.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
It's a good song.
My butt is in the front yard.
Some Orange County dudes right there.
It sounds like
the guitar player is a writer in Nashville.
Driving down the 101.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeping with my pants on. Whatever that song is. The Jason's BGVs on the Often Never Neverland refrain.
God,
Often Never Neverland.
Like the last episode, we're going to be complimenting Jason a lot on his BGVs on this one.
Dude, he's such a big part of these
Huge
shows.
part of it. Even on Enter Sandman, he's doing the high harmony on the pre-chorus. The gripping your pillow tight part, and Hetfield does the lower harmony.
They've always done that. Yeah, Jason's always did the high part.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that. Like that. I could see how, like, in the early days of it, James is going to do it because he did it in the studio. He's young and strong, and they sort of segue out of that. But even then, Jason was doing that high part.
But nowadays, I'm pretty sure he's doing the high one. I don't specifically remember from the shows we went to, but I'm pretty sure James just does the high part now. I don't know if Robert can hit that.
I don't think James can hit it. I don't think he does it either.
Well, who does it then? Kirk?
No.
Lars has a headset mic on back there. He's like, I got this, guys.
Lars couldn't even do it in his prime. Lars was never a singer. And we're going to get down to like when when the boys do Seeking the Story and the kind of in the middle of puppets, or they sort of truncate puppets. Jason does the whole song. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
And you've talked about him being sort of a hype guy. He's like the guy in the Mighty Mighty Bosstones that doesn't play an instrument.
He just dances.
That just sort of dances.
Yeah.
Never had an option to knock on wood, but I'm good I haven't yet. It's the present that I get.
Impression that I get.
And then we sort of get one of the. It's not as classic as the Mexico City, but we get the "Are you fucking ready? Creeping death."
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, come on.
So when I rewatched the San Diego show, I did San Diego. I didn't look up the set list because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Whenever we do these episodes, I never look at the set list.
I want to be surprised again.
I want to be fucking excited.
Yeah. So when he said, "Are you fucking ready? Creepy," I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I know. Isn't that fun? That's a fun way to do it.
I was expecting 2 Black Album songs in a row for some reason. It just felt like they should do it.
Like what? Like which? Yeah, I mean,
Even if
like,
they went from that into Sabbath True, just like that would have sounded great. But
man, fuck, what a 1-2 punch.
oh yeah,
It's weird. They've
just like the record too.
But we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, and God knows we probably talked about it in other episodes. Creeping Death is one of those songs that works so well at the top, but also so well at the back of the set too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And actually, we're going to get into this because there is one song that they usually do at the top, but they do at the back on this show that I don't think worked as well.
Okay, I'm curious.
So we'll save that. So Creep, I mean, James's vocals, to me, like one of my first notes is that he sounds stronger. He sounds more confident even than Seattle.
Well, I mean, this is fresh off of working with Bob Rock vocally. Bob Rock really pushing him to become a better singer.
He probably learned a lot vocally by working with Bob.
Well, this is also in the era where he learned how to actually sing and properly warm up and warm down after shows and stuff like that. So,
which was crucial to like the longevity of like people would say like, oh, when he blew his voice out and he had to get trained, things changed, and
right.
I think that coincided with people being bummed about Black Album and Load and Reload. But the fact is, it was a blessing if I can sort of borrow that language for a second, that happened that early on, because the shit he learned by doing that. I mean, he still warms up vocally to the tape he got during that Black Album shit.
Oh yeah.
So he learned how to take care of his voice at a time where it was really important. He might have done more damage had he not learned how to take care of himself.
Oh, I think if he didn't learn how to take care of his voice, I don't know if we would have gotten his great vocal takes in the Load Reload era.
Because certain vocal damage is permanent.
Oh, I mean, I have an old friend that used to be in a band that...
How old are they?
Now? Well, when he stopped touring...
Well, you said you had an old friend.
An old friend. He's 79 right now.
There we go.
No, an old time-wise friend. He literally had to stop touring. Couldn't sing anymore. When he talked to him, he talks like this.
Look at Phil Anselmo.
Shot his vocal cords.
Yeah, Phil Anselmo was,
all Phil can do is just kind of scream, and not even well anymore.
Man, if I can just take a minute here,
please do.
I'm a huge Pantera fan, and Phil Anselmo, he just bums me out, dude. That dude is not. He's just he's so fucked up. He's not cool.
Every time you see an interview with him, you want him to be cool, but
because Dime was so cool. Go read any interview with Dime, and even Vinny back in the day.
I would say Dime
cool.
would have been the coolest in that band. I mean,
Dime is one of the coolest people in all of metal.
He's like
in my one experience.
One experience of meeting Vinny Paul, I've probably mentioned on the show. He was not cool at all.
I have heard stories from people, who've brushed up against Vinny in certain above board and dubious ways, and the stories are not good.
Yeah, the only people I know that have said, "Oh, he's great," are people that are in other bands that end up at a strip club or something, and they're like, "Oh, he was great."
They're big into that.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: everything I've heard bad about Vinny Paul is like people on the inside who've told me stories. With Phil Anselmo, you don't need inside information. That motherfucker is making public spectacles of himself.
Oh yeah.
Doing some racist shit at public events and just fucking bumming me out, dude.
Yeah, totally. It makes it hard to listen to Pantera sometimes.
It's changing it for me a little bit as I get older. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, back to Vulgar Display of Power.
Anyways, back to our Pantera podcast. The bridge, man, of course, the Die Bridge is so amazing, iconic. And I love that Jason's just fucking running in circles.
Oh, yeah. And James is getting the crowd to go, die.
The energy, James runs up on the rafters.
Yeah.
It's such a great moment. It's like an encore moment, and this is their second song. It's amazing, dude.
It's crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. The power of that, and it does seem to be connected to Creeping Death for me for some reason. Maybe it's Freudian. I don't know.
Well, this is also. I mean, it's not
my
like
latent religious guilt. I don't know.
Sure, but the energy on stage too, I would imagine, is also related to the fact that, like, rhythmically, it's not a crazy hard song to play. Now the
die part, the
die
normal
part
song is, but
yeah,
because it's all downstrokes.
Yeah, that is tough. But when you get in that crowd part, or you like the chorus and the bridge are just really easy to play on guitar.
You're hitting diamond. A diamond is like a whole note.
Yeah.
You're going one chord, bing, 2, 3, let it be written, bum, bum, let it be done, ding, ding, send it by.
Let's play a diamond for you.
Those are called diamonds in the biz. But the main riff, that that's hard to play.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because James does not alternate pick. That motherfucker is all downstrokes.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about Disposable Heroes or Spit Out the Bone. But on something like Creep, that is all down. Master of Puppets, all downstrokes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So anyone who plays guitar knows how difficult that is. But you're right. The bridge gets simpler, so that you can prowl the stage more.
You don't have to look at your guitar as much or concentrate on your right hand doing something.
You can throw your arms up, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And by the way, let's camp out there for a second. Not camp out, but let's give credit where credit's due. That's our boy Kirk Hammett. That bridge. That bridge is Kirk Hammett's contribution. How about Kirk? Two of the biggest moments of Metallica's entire catalog: the riff to Enter Sandman and the fucking bridge to Creeping Death.
I know.
Let's give it up for Kirk Hammett.
Kirky Hammett.
People try to fucking rip on Kirk. I'm like, fuck you, dude. You can't fuck with what he did.
No.
Go listen to any solo in Ride the Lightning or Injustice for All or the Black Album. You cannot fuck with it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Harvester of Sorrow, kind of a staple of this time.
Wasn't this number 3 in the Seattle show? It was early on.
They've been playing it early, yeah. Because it has elements of it's kind of a down. It's kind of that clean thing, but it's also heavy and sludgy.
Yeah.
Maybe it kind of feels that we came out with 2 barn burners. Maybe we can kind of do a more mid-tempo.
It's almost weird that they're doing one off of side B of Justice. It's even on the Justice tour.
Yeah, it's almost like Harvester was a single or something, although it wasn't.
Was
it a single?
No, it was a single.
Eye of the Beholder, one.
It's one. I think it was one of the 2 singles that had Bread Fan on the.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was a single. So maybe that's why they bring it out. Jason clapping, getting the crowd hyped at the top.
Oh yeah,
because they do that and he's just getting everyone fucking.
Well, that's what Jason did. That was one of his strengths.
He was so good at it. He really was.
Maybe they can bring him back in, not to play bass, but to be the guy in the Boss Stones that doesn't play anything. That literally just.
I'm sure he would love that.
Jason, I think, would love it.
He'd love to come out of semi-retirement in Florida with his new wife, where he's having a nice time. He's making art.
Yeah,
he just wants to come prowl around a stage.
Yeah, be the Flavor Flav of Metallica.
It's just a big metal clock around his neck.
Yeah, clock in the shape of an M. And
so I made a note on. So we're in the 3rd song, right? So we're and this is a fucking long ass show. So we're sort of early on, and I had a note of this feels looser than normal, and that became a hallmark for me. This is a loose show.
It is, yeah.
And I don't know if and there's some things about it being loose that I think are good that make it stand out, and some things about it that make me miss Seattle.
Right.
Because Seattle to me seemed like one of my takeaways with Seattle was they're alcoholica, they like to drink and party and shit. When you watch that Seattle show, you're like, oh, they must have some rule where there's no drinking during the show or before the show.
Right.
Because they're just so present and solid. Well, and I know there's that moment in Seek in the story where he takes a beer.
Yeah.
This show, I started to think, it's been 3 years, a lot of success since then.
Right.
I think the boys are having some fun before the show.
Well, I also think too that on the Justice tour, I mean, you're playing Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Puppets, and Justice.
Super fast aggro.
You have to be on.
But
there's not much looseness in those records. To you can't do it live.
But it's not like they're not playing those songs here, though. They're playing
they are.
They're playing Whiplash and Four Horsemen.
Oh, they totally are. Yeah, they are.
And Creep and
But they also have those breaks in there, which I think a song like.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Some of these solos. There's a lot of solos.
Yeah.
We'll get into
little noodly bits and pieces.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Anything? Let's see. Let's say a Harvester. Of course, the language of the mad shit. Jason. Language of the mad.
He's great on that. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things we all miss and remember him for. Now, James is playing this really cool guitar from this area that's called the Wolf and Man Explorer.
Oh yeah.
Where it looks just like a normal black Explorer, but the fretboard, instead of on the fretboard, there's usually dots that indicate what fret you're on. It's this evolution of a wolf to a dude.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
He doesn't play him really ever anymore, but he was obviously doing it in Black Album.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that guitar. It's nice to see it. The solo is great. The big pause before the all have said their prayers. It's a great live moment. We talked about it last time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think this one at this point, 3 years later, they've got this one down. It's
all dialed in. Yeah, they kind of figured out what works. They another biz term, if I may. They cracked the code.
They cracked the code on the deck.
On the deck in front of the kabuki.
That's right.
Yeah.
below the truss, below the rigging.
The riggers, yeah. Bus calls later. And
Yeah, after show food.
after show food,
Yeah.
They have to get their robes or berobed.
Yeah, loadout robes.
Color our butts berobed. And there, you can start to get your first taste too. There's like a little Kirk doodle right afterwards.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's to give someone a break, maybe give James a vocal break. There's a lot of these kind of transition things.
Yeah, I may change guitar or something.
And then we get Sanitarium, which we got that on Seattle too.
Yeah, pretty early. Yeah.
Kirk sounds great on the intro solo. It's kind of loose but good. Like there's looseness in this show that I really like.
Yeah.
It becomes problematic for me a little later, but burning this show down kind of now, my current frame of mind, doing the podcast. I saw it a million times when I was a kid, but the last few days I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm kind of looking at it maybe a little more discriminately.
Right, yeah.
What else is there to say about Sanitarium? Let's do a similar outro to Creeping Death where they do that really slow, that gong, 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 gong. Very dramatic, like big hits.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're right when you say that it is a little looser. James's vocal is a little looser than the Seattle one. Maybe a little tired, but still cool though.
No, it's still cool.
Like he's not struggling.
Well, the weariness of it has its own character that I think's interesting.
Oh, yeah, for
now, what many of you dudes out there will remember is that we get the boob montage. He makes some sort of quip about your boobs again.
The boob
but then they
montage.
actually show 4 or 5 sets of boobs.
It's crazy that's even current to present day. Like I've been to shows where like before a band comes on or when I watch live shows on YouTube or something, and before the band comes on, like there's the camera scanning the crowd, and anytime a girl takes her shirt off, the camera goes straight there and the crowd goes crazy. I'm like, I thought,
Scanning the crowd
is that really still a
in the
thing?
city tonight, looking for boobs. Oh my god.
Oh man.
I mean, I liked it when I was a kid. Watching it again today, I was like, this is not like this. You don't want this to be part of your legacy, do you?
Right. Yeah.
But when you're 30 years old and you got a record that's as big as the Black Album, you're not really thinking about that.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
And they all were like pre-married or in the middle of their first divorces and shit.
Right.
I get it. All right. Then we get Sabbath True. I wrote, "Whoa, buddy," lots of swagger. I mean, they just knew, man. They knew. Like when you're coming out of the gate when that's your new song,
you're going to play it so well because you're so excited about it,
pumped and stoked, and you know that it's so powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, and this one, to this day is great live. But back then with that energy coming straight off recording the Black Album, it just came out. Can't remember if that was their second single or not, but
well, they had like
whatever.
6
It was
from
one
that
of them,
record,
one of the 20 singles they had on the Black Album. But yeah, it's just cool, and the crowd seems into it because it's just heavy, and you can kind of bounce to it a little bit.
I really think that even all these years later, if you had someone that was like, I don't really know Metallica, all right, I've heard a few songs. I think if anyone you could sit down in any genre and be like, listen to this song, Sabbath True. They're going to bob their head. They're going to hear the cleverness of the lyric, the hookiness of it, and be like, all right, that's pretty good.
And then if they still don't like it, you could say, you know what, Snoop Dogg likes this song. Yeah, you know what? Funny you should mention that. He actually performed it.
God, don't remind me or any of us about that. We're going to kind of burn through these a little quicker than maybe last time. Wherever May Roam, another new tune.
I love the intro, the sitar thing.
The sitar tape. Yeah. They're already sort of realizing on the front end of introducing these songs to people, like, let's build these dramatic intros in where we're not having to compensate. Like, it's not like Kurt going, how do I make that sitar sound? They're like, let's just play the fucking intro
You get
tape.
your Ravi Shankar on, and you get a fucking sitar on the stage.
How much will it cost to have Ravi come on tour with us?
Can Ravi Shankar tour with Metallica just for one intro?
He'll get crabs a few times in Japan, maybe. It's no big deal. There's cream for that. Jason BGVs are awesome.
Of course. Kirk solo's great on the song.
I think this is sort of an under-talked about Kirk Hammett solo.
I love this solo.
And, like, people shit on the fade out. This is a big fade out on the Black Album.
Yeah.
Wherever I may wander. And it just sort of...
Yeah.
I think fade outs are great sometimes, dude.
They're great. And Kirk actually keeps soloing at the outro, too, on the album, which is awesome.
Well, you know what I've always thought about fade outs? Because some people are like, oh, it's lazy. They didn't take the time to figure out how to end the song. No. All right, maybe sometimes. But my idea, too, is like, some songs you just feel like, oh, they're in the studio and they don't want to end it because they want to keep.
It's a good
playing
moment.
it.
Like you're jamming on this riff. Kirk's doing this cool solo, and James is improvising some vocals. It's like, dude, this is great. Keep going, keep going.
Like some songs should feel like they don't need to end.
Yeah.
That's part of what's magical about it.
I think my next record, I'm going to fade in and out every song.
Well, a lot of bands have done that.
Yeah.
The Beatles did a fake outro with Day in the Life.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains did a fake one with Down in a Hole.
Yep.
Anything else to say?
I like when James says, "You like that new shit, huh?"
Well, it's just so weird to hear him talking about Wherever May Roam is the new shit.
The new shit.
Which I remember when it was the new shit.
It's literally like 4 months old at this show.
It was literally new shit.
He says, "Whoa, we're old, James. You were 30."
Yeah, I wonder what he's saying now. All right, then we get our first of many punctuated solos. We get their Jason Newsted solo. He gives a very cool speech where he kind of talks about how grateful and thankful he is. And
oh, yeah.
He actually even uses the phrase, which I thought was intentional, where he says, "Thanks for sticking by us."
Yeah.
And I think what he was alluding to was not only the more commercial change of the Black Album, but even himself replacing Cliff.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe them making their first video for MTV with one.
Well, Lars, even in the very beginning of the show, when they're doing that backstage stuff where they're talking to the crowd, and Lars is talking to the crowd about the montage they're watching, he's like, "We got some Cliff in there. You guys like Cliff?" Jason, at this point, we're 6 years after Cliff passed away. They're always going to have Cliff involved in this, he's just part of the band. So
and we saw on the stadium tour last year. He's still there.
He's still there.
Rob's playing Anesthesia, and they're playing this big fucking. They've got him on the big screen.
Yeah.
And they played Orion very recently on Cliff's birthday. And
Yeah.
he's still
a part of that band.
he's kind of like in a non spooky way. He sort of haunts them and us all in a way.
I'm kind of hoping on the arena tour that they will do the whole Anesthesia thing with Thing of Cliff, and then they go into My Friend in Misery, and there's a montage of Jason.
When are we going to get a Jason montage?
Can we get a Jason montage?
Or all right. Obviously, not to be disrespectful, Cliff did pass away. Jason's still with us,
of course.
etc. But when are we going to get a moment in the show that is like, you know what? Let's honor Jason.
Yeah.
How about Rob does Anesthesia, and then instead of fucking the I Disappear bull crap, which I love that song, how about Rob plays My Friend in Misery?
Just the intro. Just a
Wouldn't
quick little intro.
Wouldn't that be fucking
so
amazing?
bitchin'. Yes.
Or a cappella, Rob sings the entire 7 minutes of Where the Wild Things Are. Rob going, "Toy soldiers off to war." How about that?
Well, dude, speaking of My Friend in Misery, I
know it.
He plays this in his bass solo, and it's like,
I don't want to sound cheesy, but it makes me feel emotional. It's such an emotional part, and then seeing Jason play it, knowing that was the last thing he wrote for the band, and he was soon to be at ends with the dudes, and
it was awesome.
And such a beautiful piece of music. And then he kind of does this on most of his solos. He just goes into kind of a more of a punk rock thing, gets the crowd that bum 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 bum. Hey,
yeah, that's cool.
Bum da 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 da. Hey, but then he walks up on the rafters and fucking turns that fuzz pedal on.
Yes.
And then we get into sort of creepy Cliff world.
Creepy Cliff world, slightly into that weird Jason ambient-ish thing.
Which was kind of his own thing. It was kind of different than Cliff. Even.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cliff didn't really do that kind of stuff. Cliff was just a fucking ripper.
And then it is a little weird. He does play Orion, but it's like he doesn't play it right.
Well...
And it's like, did he?
I think there's a moment in. I have to re-listen to the song
because it's like boom, go boom, go boom, go.
Well, he does. It's if I had my hollow body bass here, I'd play for you. But he does this. If any musicians are out there, after the do 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 do, and then it's thirds, and it's like I don't know. It's close.
But it's not right.
I have to re-listen to the part because once all the other guys are back into the song on that
because
bridge,
then they come in with that
and
sort of Pink Floyd
at some
moment.
point Cliff might have played those notes. I just kind of wish he would have played the actual solo part of Orion.
Those sort of psychedelic harmony big bends. That's one of my favorite moments of all of Metallica. Definitely of Master Puppets.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
That shit is so good. And it's kind of their updated version of the To Live Is To Die moment, right?
Yeah.
Jason plays the thing, then they start doing the harmony solo.
Yep. They come, Kirk and James come sit next to him and do the whole thing, and yeah, it's the same deal as the Seattle show in '89, but different song. And I love it still.
No, well, of course. Well, it's because it's cool. It pays tribute to this other shit. You're almost getting a taste of this other shit. They're like, all right, they're not going to play Orion, but we got a little taste of it.
Yeah.
All right, that's a treat. I mean, we'll get into later some of my problems with the set, but that's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they don't end there, and Jason does this kind of more like, gong, gong. He does this sort of, Jason's a big Gene Simmons fan.
Right.
He credits Gene Simmons as one of the reasons he wanted to play bass. So he ends up doing this, for those of you who know Kiss, he kind of does this kind of God of Thunder thing at the end of his solo that I love. And it kind of wraps up. It achieved what it needed to. James got a break or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we get one of my favorites. We talked about it earlier, Through the Never.
Through the Never is so
But it's
good.
cool to see it Through the Never on the tour that they're promoting that record that it's on.
Yeah, totally.
It's not them like throwing a bone to people. It's like they're playing their new fucking deep cut record song.
I mean, the opening riff is fucking thrash.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's very puppetsy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The spider riff from Puppets.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's awesome. And just to hear them again, like we talked about earlier, like so fresh into these songs and so excited about playing these new songs live. It's like the Black Album songs almost sound better than the old stuff on this show because those songs are probably so well rehearsed and so fresh in their minds.
Right.
Not that the other ones sound bad, but like, I just as somebody who's been in a band for a long, numerous times over numerous years, I know that excitement of like starting your next tour after you just finished a record. Like, dude, I can't wait to play that new song. It's gonna be so fun. And I imagine these guys are in that position here on this tour.
Well, it's one of the reasons that they're so special is because if you have a record like the Black Album, what most bands do is they're like, let's crank out another record of bullshit that we don't believe in so we can still go play Black Album stuff.
Right, yeah.
Because when we were young and we were in our 30s, we wrote this great record. We don't even know how we did that.
Right.
Now we're in our 50s and making bullshit. Because that happens to some bands.
Oh, yeah.
Making a new thing is just an excuse to sort of capitalize on what was great about when you were young. Metallica's, other than Saint Anger, which itself was unique and innovative in its way. It was fresh.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't them making bullshit just to keep playing Fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
They were making their next artistic statement. Then they made Death Magnetic. Now they got Hardwired.
Oh, I mean...
Hardwired stands up with anything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely
Moth and the Flame stands up with anything on the Black Album.
I think Atlas Rise, too.
I think Atlas does. I think Spit does. I think Halo and Fire does.
Halo and Fire? Are you kidding? Of course, yeah.
Notwithstanding any of the other track, Now That We're Dead, to me, is as good as anything on Load and Reload. Anyway, that's a whole... You've heard us pontificate about Hardwired.
Oh, yeah.
Through the Never. All right, we love it. What can we say?
We love it. It's awesome. Unforgiven.
Very cool.
Great.
I love the James's flamenco intro.
Yeah, it's really cool.
He's got some good technique on that.
He does, yeah. He for sure does. I love that he's, back then he was just starting to use the acoustic on the stand.
Well, he even says on this show, he's like, I know this looks weird up here.
Yeah.
So they set it up, and he's like, but, just... Metallica fans, we push boundaries. He makes some kind of statement.
Yeah, he does.
They were kind of aware. It's not like they were unaware of like what they were doing was different for their fans.
Yeah, they got it. They know that their fans are already probably weirded out by the fact this record sounded different from Justice.
And I think their message was, we're not going to like stop doing what we are going to do, but we understand it. We want to bring you into it.
It sounded great.
Well, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, like you said, his little flamenco intro is great. Kirk's little sounded awesome.
The vocals are super strong. Kirk's playing a white Strat, which anytime they play kind of, he plays that Strat for the one video, but it's interesting.
Is it the white Strat in the one video or black and white Strat?
No, it's not. It's a Strat, not the white Strat.
Yeah.
It's an ESP Strat or something.
Right, yeah.
It's not a Fender, I don't think.
It's probably an ESP.
Oh, Christ, it might be. Don't write in.
Let's just go ahead and say it. It's a Kramer.
Don't write in. Great BGVs during the outro. So I dubbed the Unforgiven. Whoa.
Whoa.
Like, I'm telling you guys, and our listeners know this, Jason killed the growly shit. When he sings Whiplash or Seeking the Story, it's all growly and great.
Yeah.
But when he actually sings...
He's got a good voice.
Motherfuckers... Well, he's got an okay voice, but he's got good pitch.
Yes, he does, yeah.
This is pre-touching all that up, dude. Touching everything up didn't really happen until kind of late 90s.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So... This is real singing, which I very much respect.
Real ass singing.
Then we get the Justice medley.
This
James
is cool.
says, he says, we got quite a few long songs on that album. We're going to play them all for you tonight. Haha, just kidding. We'll be here for another week if we do that. So they kind of have a sense of humor about Justice being sort of, I don't want to use the word overlong.
There's some long ass songs on that record.
They're long. I don't know if they're over. They're as long as they need to be, but
and
it is
think
long.
about in comparison to what they're currently touring in the Black Album, which are a lot shorter songs.
I think part of the crazy storm that created the Black Album, timing and blah blah blah, a piece of that puzzle is they made their most progressive sort of longish record.
Yeah.
And they played it live and were like, shit, let's maybe not do that this time.
That took forever.
That was a piece of the puzzle.
We just played the song "Injustice for All," and that dude just went and got 4 beers at 4 separate
It makes me
times.
grateful for that period. Not only because that's my second favorite record, Justice, but because them going through that process, we're like, you know what? Let's slow it down. Let's do 5-minute songs.
Yeah.
Or even 3, holier than thou is like 3 or 4.
Right.
Let's make it all really count. Let's cut the fat out. It's cool, man. I mean, I think we all benefited. If you're still on the ride, we all benefited from that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the songs that they chose, so he basically said we chose our best parts. The songs they chose are interesting. Eye of Beholder, which that gun, 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 gun,
Yeah.
gun, gun, that fade in, that is one of my favorite moments on Justice. And they don't ever really do that again in the song.
Yeah.
It's just that intro.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the verse.
Do you hear what I hear?
It's
Yeah.
the same rhythm, just chord changes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great selection for the
Well,
Justice
then we get the
medley,
black end bridge, ga 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 ga, ga 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 ga, into freight ends,
Of course.
into Justice.
Yeah.
Which at the Seattle show, they ended the set proper with the whole song.
The whole song, yeah. And that's one, I think that might be the longest song on Justice, is the title track. I want to say it's 8 something.
It's To Live Is To Die is long too.
Yeah, it's Injustice for All is...
I would say it's either Injustice for All or To Live Is To Die. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking up real quick just to double check. No, here's the thing that's annoying. Okay. Injustice for All... oh my gosh, stop. 9:47.
Look up To Live Is To Die.
You know, in iTunes or whatever, music on your phone, on your iPhone, it used to show the time next to it. Now I have to hit play and then pause and then take a look.
Because they don't want you to know.
9:49.
What was the other one?
9:47.
So To Live Is To Die is the longest
2
one.
seconds longer.
I was right.
Yeah. You're so right all the time.
You know what? I'm in these sort of grueling production rehearsals with my country band this week. Shit's about to get pretty crazy busy for me and you both. But I was talking. Someone was asking me about the podcast today, and they were like, I sort of jokingly was like, well, I do it on Metallica podcast, and someone goes, "Are you like an expert or something?" And the joke response, of course, is like, "Oh yeah, like it's basically Lars Ulrich and then me."
Right, yeah.
That's the joke. And of course, like we're not experts. Anyone who's been on the ride with us knows that we're on the journey. We don't know.
We're just fans.
But really, honestly,
We're
I know as much about him as I've ever known.
Me too, yeah.
I learn every day.
We're
I'm
learning
listening
more,
to them
yeah.
every day.
I guess as opposed to someone who's like,
I know too much now.
yeah, I've heard the Black Album and I know Fuel. They might think we're experts, sure.
If I know who Mike Gillis is and Randy Staub, I know who Engineer Randy is.
Right, yeah.
And I know
And Tuning
I
Room
know
guy.
that Russ Halfin did the photographs for the Puppets tour.
Right.
All right. We're getting into the behind the scenes shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not to say I know I don't fucking know everything.
No, we're experts.
But my
It's
like
fine.
normal friends in my normal life are like, do you like know enough to do that? I'm like, I think so at this
That's
point.
the main question I always get is like, is there enough to talk about for that
yes.
many weeks? I'm like, yeah, we
Well,
have,
the other thing I said to my friends today, I was like, people who know way more than us write in and let us know
oh yeah, they do.
that we don't know enough.
Yep.
That happens for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on. We may even cut all that out.
Yeah, that's
Now,
fine.
this is the first moment in the show that I get a little grumpy.
Yeah, me too.
So this is the drum solo. Now, it's a lot of different things happen, okay. But it's 20 minutes long. This is a 20-minute
20.
So let's just burn down kind of what happens here. Let's go chronologically. So Jason kind of starts playing. He starts playing some familiar song. What is that song he plays?
I'm not positive.
It's kind of like a bluesy.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Someone will
can't
know.
remember,
And
yeah.
in fact, don't write in. Then he gets on the drums, and Lars is kind of being a ham on the mic. Stick to the bass, will ya?
Yeah.
He's hamming it up.
It's already kind of weird for me.
And so then Lars gets on the drums, and I wrote, it's like that scene from Wayne's World when Garth is in the store.
I like to play.
And let's play a clip.
Hey man, stick to playing bass, will ya?
Wow. You're amazing, dude.
Thanks. I like to play.
It's like a parody of kind of everything that's schlocky about these moments. But
Right,
it's also
yeah.
fun, too, because I know that they have a sense of humor.
And I mean, they're having a good time. I mean, I don't care for this majority of this section, but the dudes are having fun, so whatever.
Oh, dude, I say I love those white Tamas that
love
came
those.
out on this tour.
Black hardware looks great.
He does a few like solo moments. He finishes the second one, runs off the stage, and then he sort of shows that they have two kits on the deck now. So of course you're going, oh, what's going to happen? He runs to the other kit, and as part of his drum solo, does the one machine gun part, blah, 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 blah,
I know.
which is like, wait, you're going to play that song later?
Just to kind of tease, I guess.
Well, it was just like, I don't know if he had a lot of tricks in the bag.
I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, Lars was never that kind of
Well,
drummer.
don't be honest. No.
Okay, I'm going to lie
A lot
here.
of people say, let's be honest. I'm like, whoa, no.
Yeah, let's just assume we're always honest.
Please don't.
There's guys like Neil Peart from Rush. That guy is an incredible drummer, and when he would do tours and do a drum solo, that guy probably straight up sat down for weeks on end and composed an actual melodic drum solo and all this stuff. Lars to me is just kind of doing thrashy stuff and little things. And I'm not saying like he shouldn't, but it's just to me his abilities lie stronger somewhere else. I don't think he's the kind of drummer that I want to see a solo from. I want to sit back and listen to that Lars backbeat and hear those great parts he wrote for all these songs.
We were building we're doing production rehearsals. We have a guy that comes in and helps us build our show. And we have a moment of our show where he's like, all right, this is the solo moment. He's like, here's the problem though, guys, solos get boring,
Yeah.
And I said, get boring? Dude, solos are boring.
Right.
They begin boring.
Yes.
And I mean, there's a reason that Lars doesn't do them anymore. There's a reason that during the doodles, Kirk's like, I'm just going to play some song that's like pertinent to the city.
Right, yeah.
Instead of like rubbing his butt on his guitar. Because after so long, we're going to see this here soon. But like, you're right. Like he does his big double kick thrashy shit. And after a few minutes of it, you're like, all right.
Cool.
Do you?
Can you?
I actually have a note that says, "Oh boy, this is boring."
Yeah.
But here's what happens: starts to get interesting. Jimmy James Het Senior, Junior,
Esquire
Senior comes out. He starts banging on the drums.
Yeah.
Now that's fun.
That's totally fun. Yeah. I always dig that.
And there's this kind of schlocky but humorous drum battle.
Yeah.
Lars moons. He literally takes his bike pants off and moons them. And I actually wrote, this is kind of like a pro wrestling moment where he's like, shut the fuck up, I'm the drummer around here.
Yeah. He should have said, let me tell you something, James.
Exactly.
I'm the drummer around here.
Yeah. It kind of gets really stupid in that way.
Yeah, it's a little goofy. So maybe they were drinking before the show.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is a thread of this show, unfortunately. Another note I had is like, when him and James are both kind of grinding it out, it's like so fun and cool.
Yeah.
But I can't see them. Like, was it a 90s thing to just not put any light? Like, it's just so dark and there are no lights on them.
I mean, maybe in person you could see him a little better on camera. It just didn't translate. I don't know.
And I guess it's kind of big screens, you know, like
I mean, there was that one screen at the intro of the show that isn't that big, and there's 2 side ones. But that back then was all private. It's all projection.
yeah, like it's not clear. I just feel like you can't see. Is it me? You just can't see anything.
Well, you do wear glasses, so I get it.
I'm not wearing glasses.
In general, though, you wear glasses, right? So you wear
Well, in
glasses.
general, yes, but my vision's corrected by
when
technology.
you watch General Hospital, sorry,
When I watch General Hospital, I masturbate into a shoe.
with your glasses on.
Is that weird?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Okay, I mean, this goes on for so long.
It goes so long.
They do Walk This Way, which I think is fun. Big Aerosmith fan, that's fun. And then Lars says, my 3-year-old son can do that, and I don't even have a son. See, this is how early this was.
Yeah.
Because now they all have like 100,000 kids. He says, Metallica turned into a circus act, huh? Yes.
Yes, you did. Yes.
You guys are fucking drunk clowns, coked out clowns in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Then Kirk comes out and does a solo. My literal note, not that Kirk sucks, but this whole moment. I mean, we're like 15 minutes in. I wrote, this sucks. Lars says, anyone going to drink after the show? It's just so loose. It's like,
to me, this is where they're like a drunk bar band.
In fact, I totally agree. And it seemed like they were way more professional in 89.
Or even before they started the Lars drum solo. I mean,
Right.
this whole 20-minute section is them just like goofing off.
They play a Deep Purple song. All right, that sounds great. The Kirk solo is pretty good, but the solos are just, at this point, we're almost 20 minutes in. And then he does his he drags a guitar across the stage and he rubs it on his butt. All right. He kicks it. James finally saves us all from almost killing ourselves, and he calls him Kirk Hamster. Kirk Hamster on lead guitar. And then thank God we get we get a song again.
Yeah,
4 Horsemen.
yeah.
All right. And he says, you have to deal with the 4 Horsemen. I thought that was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was pretty
I always
bitchin'.
loved that when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
It's solid. It's confident. Oh, and one of the coolest moments of this whole DVD is in the breakdown. Lars runs all the way across the stage to the other kid and barely makes it in time.
Barely.
It's so great. It's showbiz.
Yeah, no, this is a good makeup portion of the set for after that whole 20-minute debacle.
I mean, it's fun, you know. Like you're seeing the boys. You paid hard money for the ticket.
I think it would have been fun if it was 5 minutes long.
It's too fucking long.
20 minutes.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm the drummer around here.
I don't know if that was I need to go drink or I need to get my dick sucked. I don't know if that's built in for some other thing that we don't know. But 20 minutes is too long, and that's not even the last solo.
Right.
There's more solos to fucking come.
It's coming.
What 4 Horsemen? All right, it's good.
It's awesome. Yeah,
it's good. All right, for whom the bell tolls. Now, my note is still badass, but seems to have more power at the top of the set rather than the bottom. Because we're on track 13.
Yeah, it is. It is a.
It just seems like it's a song built to get the crowd hyped.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It feels like an introduction song of like, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is what's in store.
Yeah, James always just hey at the beginning and gets the crowd singing.
Yeah, it just feels different later in the set.
It kind of just feels like it drags at this point of the set because like you've already gone through all these other great songs and the energy level is. Not that this doesn't bring up the energy level, but I think it does better, like you said, at the top of the set.
And even Jason, the bass hook isn't even as good this time.
Right, yeah.
This whole show has a very different energy.
It does, yeah.
It'll be interesting next week to sort of contrast even Mexico City with San Diego and Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
This whole show just feels a little different. It's not bad.
No, not at all.
Just different.
If I was there, I would have been fucking pumped.
It feels a little on the fast side. Like we talked earlier, it feels like a little more on top of the beat.
Yeah.
Instead of that sort of like a swaggery kind of more of a groove.
Yep. Agreed.
Kirk's got a lot of energy. Now, this song ends, we get another Kirk solo. It's short and sweet, and it's badass, but we get another solo.
Another solo. At least it's short, but do we need another solo?
And then we get sort of maybe the first, other than Harvester, we get sort of the first sort of down moment. We get Fade to Black.
Yeah.
And everything's as it is, as it should be.
Well, we had Unforgiven, but that was the only one we had.
Oh, that's true. No, we had Unforgiven. That's right. The outro is badass, full of energy. Okay, then we get Whiplash. Similar to Seattle, James does the chorus first.
Yeah.
He does do a daddish joke.
Yeah.
1, 2, 8, 0, 3, 9. When I was a kid, I was like, this motherfucker's a comedian.
Yeah. Jason singing the second verse, I'm never opposed.
There's basically Seinfeld that I watch every Thursday night, and then there's James Hetfield.
Right.
In between banter, knocking your tits together, 8039.
Talking about waking the neighbors up.
Waking the neighbors. Talking about our nutty friends.
Yeah, nutty friends. Nutty bars.
Jason does the second verse.
Great.
All right. Killer set ender. Then we get the oh yeah banter, which, we're all used to the oh yeah banter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah? Yeah. Oh yeah? Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah? No.
Yes. No. Not no more.
And then, of course, he goes from oh yeah to master of puppets.
Yeah.
Gun. And then that fucking barn burner puppets.
Kirk back on the spidery Les Paul.
Brought
I love
it back
that
out.
guitar.
I miss it. Let's get
Isn't
it back.
It's a spider. Wait, does it have like a yellowy skull, right? Or yellowy kind of thing on it on the web?
It's a yellowy spider.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Or it's like a web or something. I don't know.
Well, it's a spider web, and it has like that webby, scully, spidery thing. It's kind of yellowy.
The first song I ever learned to play on guitar was Glycerine by Bush, because it's very simple bar chords.
Yes.
I looked.
And there's no other instruments.
I looked in the phone book, and I looked up the girl I liked at school. Didn't talk to her at school. Looked her up in the phone book. Called her house. Her mom answers. Her name was Shayna. Hey, is Shayna around? Yeah. Can I tell her who's calling? It's Clint from school. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Clint from school.
Fair.
She put Shayna on the phone. Hey, Shayna, it's Clint from school. What are you doing? I don't know. What's up? Why are you calling? This is in 1997, 6.
Right.
I said, hey, I play guitar. I don't know if you knew that. And I just learned a new song. It's Glycerine by Bush. Do you mind if I play it for you?
Oh, romantic.
She's like, okay.
Swoon.
I put the phone down. I play all 3.5 minutes of Glycerine. I don't sing it.
I know. You just played the chords.
I don't sing it. I just played the chords. Gun, 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 gun. I mean, it must have been the most horrific thing to listen to.
That's also very brave of you to do.
7th grade. All right. I picked 3.5 minutes later. I picked the phone back up. No. I'm like, hey, Shayna, and she's like, yes, she's there. She hung in there with me.
No way.
And I'm like, well, that was for you. And what did you think? And she's like, I thought it was cool. Thank you. Instead of cashing out and going, well, thank you so much for taking the time. I'll see you at school.
Yeah.
I think you rock. All right. Instead of doing that, I go, oh, I learned one other song. Check this out. Guess what that song was? Spiderwebs by No Doubt.
Yes, you
Go,
did.
go. I just totally ruined it.
And then after 4 minutes of that, it was.
I don't remember how it ended, but
Here's the best part about Glycerine is I'm fairly certain, correct me if I'm wrong, the chords never change.
Of what?
Glycerine.
They change.
No, I mean, as in, like, it's the same progression of the whole song,
No.
right? It's
No.
not?
No.
Okay. Clint's grabbing a guitar. Uh-oh. It's your turn now. We're at HQ2. Clint is about to play Glycerine in its entirety.
Let's fucking do it. I literally haven't played this since that.
Really? All right. Well,
So, the main thing is...
I don't know the words.
I'm sinking in. Must be for
Now go to the
real.
chorus.
Then it goes, don't let the days go by.
Right, that's the same chords. Watch.
No.
Don't let. No, go take. Okay, so go to the end of a line. That's just fine.
days on beat.
Yeah, that's just fine. F. C. Don't let the days go by. Same chords.
No, but there's a bridge or something.
Should have been easier than. Yep.
I couldn't change, I fucking wanted to. Could have been easier by fate.
Guitar lessons by Clint.
Loving you and you and me.
This is for you, Deborah, whatever her name was.
Shayna.
Shayna.
Maybe I did change the chords, and maybe that's why she never liked me.
Or maybe if you change the chords, maybe that's why she hung on the phone for so long. She's like, oh, it's not just 4 chords.
Crap.
Well, we'll follow up on the Mexico City episode with Clint's full version of Glycerine.
Having said and played all of that, we do miss the spiderweb guitar.
Yeah, and Spiderwebs by No Doubt.
What's next?
We were on Master Puppets.
This is kind of a weird move. So instead of doing the totally bitchin' slow part that we all love.
Yeah.
They decided to do a fucking 800-minute version of Seek and Destroy.
Yeah.
See, this is where I'm like, I don't know if I'm just getting old. Like, I feel old. Like, I was burning it down. I was like, this is long, dude.
Yeah.
And we're still like an hour out of being done.
Right.
Because they do the Seek and Destroy, so it's fun because Jason sings it and does the chorus and he doesn't just like kind of guest on it. But my note is like, when Jason does like one verse of something, it's cool. When he's the lead singer of a whole song, I'm kind of like,
I love when he sings, and especially when he does the thrashy stuff. But I'm with you. I think I'd love to hear just a verse or just the second verse.
Because he does all of Seek and Destroy,
right?
Except for at the end when James gets like. So then James like does this whole thing where he like hands the microphone to people in the crowd.
That gets a little weird, especially when he goes up to the band.
You know what it's really good for? Like an actual show. Like you created a moment for people. You made it really special. If you're filming it for an official live release that will live forever,
right?
Maybe don't do the drunken 45-minute version of that.
It's just really weird when he goes back to the band. They're all on the drum riser with Lars.
Well, then he has them do it, and they're all kind of being jokey and drunky.
Kirk is
Kirk
inaudible.
hardly says
he goes
it.
Like,
yeah. Here.
It's the weirdest.
He made like
thing.
you know what he sounded like? A meerkat.
A meerkat. Which sound like?
He sounded and looked like a meerkat.
Meow.
You notice I'm sitting like upright? I'm like all charged up now.
You are, yeah.
I'm not leaning back any longer.
It's because it's about to get better in the set.
Oh, Jesus. Let's get out of here. One. It's another great... So they did these kind of multiple encores where they sort of split.
This one has 3 encores.
It's great. This is a great encore. They did it in Seattle, too.
Yeah.
Because, the war music and the guns and shit.
Oh, it's a great way to come back from the main set.
I prefer the Seattle one more just because it's been so loose. They just seem kind of loose, man. They're like tipsy. James does the now the war's done, I'm just one. He puts his middle finger up in protest. I loved that as a kid.
I love that. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Dad.
Fuck the man.
Now that the world is gone, I'm just one.
Hold my breath as I wish for death. Crap.
Now, it is interesting because they extend the solo. Where
now that my dad is through with me.
I'm waking up and I can't see mommy.
Can I have some money to go to the arcade?
I need lunch money, even though I'm grumpy at you. But they do one, and instead of ending it, they sort of do this guitar battle.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I dig it.
That's cool.
It makes it a little different than what we're used to.
But, this is what we do for a living, right? So, like, I'm all about, like, making it feel loose and spontaneous, making it feel very special.
Right, yeah.
But there's a difference between that and it being kind of, like, jammy and indulgent.
Correct, yeah.
Because it's like, all right, they can say, like, well, we played for 3 fucking hours, like, we could have only played 90, whatever their contract was. We're only really obligated to play 90, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which is what most shows are. I think 90 is a really good limit.
That's very generous.
A 2-hour show feels like, man, they really gave us a lot. I've walked out of 3-hour shows.
3.5-hour show.
I've walked out of them.
Now, I wonder if you actually went in and like took out all the little solos, the 20-minute drum weird thing that happened, the Seek and Destroy bit, would that cut out like a good 35 minutes?
Yeah. Yes, it would. Minimum.
The only show I ever stayed for that was 3 hours straight of one band was Pearl Jam. And it was fucking great. And I never got tired, and I never felt like it was 3 hours.
We went and saw Guns 2012. It wasn't Slash and Duff, but it was Axl, and he was back on his game. They were touring. We got there early. We saw Black Label Society. Axl came out on time at 9. At 1 a.m., we were like, we got to go. Like, they're playing, their encore was something crazy. Like,
right.
And they had more to go. Like, we were looking on Twitter. They're like, oh, they're playing it so easy. And we're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But we just got so tired.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't give all that time to these people. Last Caress, Barn Burner.
Oh, that's great.
What can we say? In the Am I Evil? All right, similar to Seattle. And then we get Battery super fast. It's like you think they'd be tired, but it's like they just all did a line of coke and they're just like,
right, yeah. And Battery's into their second encore at this point.
Yeah.
It gets a little sloppy here and there, but nothing like crazy, nothing awful.
It's
or anything.
nothing you're going to be bummed about because they're great, But
it
is sloppy.
They're also at 3 hours and 10 minutes of a set. They're probably beat,
No,
especially
they're not.
Hetfield.
They're not playing like they're tired. They're playing like they're on
cocaine,
on uppers.
Yeah, they have some uppers happening.
Which
probably.
they've said that Lars has come out and said James never did anything like that. He was a drinker.
Yeah,
but I don't
Lars
know.
definitely did.
And then one of your favorite songs, they end with Stone Cold Crazy. Now, some of my... So they come back out, they're kind of still jamming and shit, and Lars is doing fist bumps.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Jason's blowing snot rockets. James is shirtless. Again, I say, finally. Dude, if I looked like James Hetfield in 1992, I'd have my shirt off for the whole show.
I would have my shirt off all day.
Especially if I knew they were recording it, like, forever.
I would be on the private jet with a no shirt on.
He says, we're going to do one whether you fucking like it or not. And then they start... No, this is amazing. I forgot about this. They start jamming Jump in the Fire.
Oh, that's right.
Okay? And Lars says, I don't think James wrote that one. And then Jason says on the mic, I saw it in Panic once. I just wrote, wow. Like, that's some heavy meta Mustaine shit that they're just saying to 15,000 people.
Yes. Totally. Yeah, exactly. It's really weird. Like, unnecessary, really.
And, you know... I've shit on Dave for, like, Dave's basically said, like, he stalwarted the No Left to Leather box set because of writing credit shit. And this is basically, like, I don't know if they're, like, admitting that James didn't write it or if they're making fun of the fact that Dave says that they didn't or something.
Right. Well, I mean, for Jump in the Fire, I mean, I think that main, that sounds like straight up a Mustaine riff.
I think what probably happened is James and Lars finished it and made it great, but then Dave kind of came out and said, I wrote that, and that's why they're saying, wait, you didn't write that? I saw that in Panic.
Yeah. I mean,
if someone has footage that we haven't seen of Panic playing the Jump in the Fire that we all know and love, all right, send it to us, metalupyourpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that exists.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I don't know, that intro riff definitely sounds like a Mustaine riff. Yeah, all that to say, I mean, I personally love them just closing with Stone Cold Crazy. Like, at that point, they might have been like, hey, we've got one more in the tank we can throw out there if you guys want to know their encore. Because they were like saying bye, like, thanks for everything, blah, blah, blah. So I thought it was a great ending to it, you know, because it's become a Metallica staple cover song.
Is that the first sneeze on our show?
Maybe. It was pretty awesome. Maybe I'll add some reverb to it.
Well, I noticed you didn't say bless you. We don't say bless you. We've just, as a family, we don't.
I normally do.
Why didn't you say it to me? Because I
was in the middle of a sentence making an important point about Stone Cold Crazy. But, you know.
You know I don't like that song very much.
Salud.
But this version is great. It's great live.
It's really good live. A lot of energy, especially with Hetfield.
It's menacing and has a lot of
Hetfield's vocal,
energy.
just the hi-hat going. Sounds great in an arena. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it.
Well, if you want me to like it, Paul, I like it.
I want to play Stone Cold Crazy, Paul. I'll do it.
Well, that was fun.
That's 3.5 hours of fun.
Yeah.
And my voice is already kind of tired because we did Instagram Live for 45 minutes.
Well, come follow us on the socials. We're going to do these Instagram Live videos a little more often because that was really fun.
Yeah.
And please leave us a review. Man, if you're listening to the show, if you're an OG listener, if you're a true, as they say, or maybe you just hopped on, maybe you jump in from time to time. I don't know. We're so grateful.
Oh, yeah.
The podcast has taken on this life that we never thought would happen, and it's become a really kind of big part of our week to week. And
yeah, I mean,
it's amazing that you guys take the time and write into us and engage, and we're really grateful. Let's not ruin that nice sentiment by promoting a bunch of shit.
That was beautiful.
About.
I think we should just get out of here.
You want to split?
Let's do it.
Peace.
Adios.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say, delete that.